All right, a quick disclaimer. This collection of Google Ads guides is content that I produced from 2018 to 2021. Some of it you can still apply. Some of it is slightly outdated due to interface changes in Google Ads and Google Analytics, and some of it is an archive of how Google Ads worked previously. The first several dozen videos will be released for free on YouTube. The rest you can get instant access to, including the scripts, keyword lists, and files using the link in the description. I'm working on sharing all of my knowledge with you on advanced Google Ads marketing after being in this game for over 12 years. So if you like this content, make sure to subscribe and ring the notification bell. Leonidas here, and let's begin. All right, welcome back to the continuation of the Form-2-Call automated callback and transfers from form fills tutorial. If you didn't check out the first tutorial where I showed you how to create the landing page itself, then go ahead and check that out for free on YouTube. Let's go ahead and check out what that form once again looks like and what it does. So here we are on our solar panel landing page demo site, the landing page that we created. And let's go ahead and select schedule appointment. And we'll enter our information. And I'll enter my phone number. And now it's going to call me back as soon as I enter my phone number in.
For quality assurance, this call may be recorded.
We're sorry. You've either called us outside our coverage area or outside of our normal.
Whether the customer converts or not, within a few minutes that we set within the system, they will ultimately receive a text message. And then in the text message, it will provide additional info just in case they initially missed our phone call or the phone call did not convert. So this is just the example of the text message that they will receive within a few minutes as well. So once someone enters their phone number into the form, then the system automatically ends up calling you back and connecting you with the offer itself. So in this tutorial, we're going to cover how the Form-2-Call works. So I'll explain it to you step by step before we go into the actual creation process. We're going to create an account with our call tracking platform that has this Form-2-Call feature. Then we're going to install the necessary plugins onto our WordPress site. We're going to set up the form on our WordPress landing page. We're going to create a ping from our form back to the call tracking platform so that it properly connects with our call tracking platform. Then we're going to go into our accounts on our call tracking platform. Then we're going to create our necessary phone numbers for using the system. Once all that is set up, we're going to create an automated text message that is sent to you once you go through the call process. And then we're going to set up some automated notifications for any type of actions that may take place within the form. So for example, someone submits a form lead, or let's say the phone call goes through, or let's say the phone call actually converts. So we can set that all up within the automated notifications. And then at the very end, we're going to go ahead and test our Form-2-Call on our landing page. And then I'll show you how to listen to your calls. So how does the Form-2-Call work? Step 1, the user inputs their phone number into the form. Step 2, the form system calls the client automatically after X number of seconds. The X number of seconds you can set yourself. Step 3, the client picks up the phone. Step 4, as soon as the client picks up, the system automatically calls the offer or the business that you're trying to connect to. Step 5, the call transaction occurs through the call tracking platform. So all of the data will be tracked by the call tracking platform, including call times, including where the person called from, etc. And then step 6, after X amount of minutes, a text message will be sent as a follow-up to our potential customer or client. And then step 7, we can receive a notification of the status of the form submission as well as the status of the phone call. So let's go ahead and begin creating our Form-2-Call on our WordPress landing page. So to begin, go to calltrackingmetrics.com and create yourself an account, do the sign up. And then within the sign up, you'll be able to find the pricing platforms. The plan that we want is the marketing platform, which includes the track unlimited web forms with Form Reactor. For the first 30 days, this tracking platform is free, but after the first month, it costs $99 per month. You also have to top up with a minimum of $50 in order for calls to go through. So you do have to pay about, I believe, 7 cents per minute for each phone call that comes through your system. But once you've signed up, then we can go ahead and start implementing the system onto our WordPress site. So within our WordPress dashboard, we'll go ahead and add 2 new plugins. So the first one will be the Call Tracking Metrics plugin, and install that. And the second plugin that we need is Contact Form 7, and go ahead and install it and activate. So now we're going to connect our Call Tracking Metrics account. So go into Settings, Call Tracking Metrics, and then here we need to enter our access information. So simply go to your account settings and copy this information. So the access key and the secret key, and save changes. And when you scroll down, you'll see the 2 different types of integrations that you can do. The first one is with Contact Form 7. The other one is with Gravity Forms. Gravity Forms is a paid plugin, while Contact Form 7 is a free plugin, unless of course you use more advanced settings for Contact Form. But now we're going to go ahead and we're going to create our contact form. So go into Contact and select Add New. And here we're going to name our contact form. So it's going to be called Solar Panel Demo Appointment. So this name right here is what's going to end up being shown within the Call Tracking Metrics system. So make sure that you are familiar with what you end up naming your form, because let's say, for example, you have multiple forms on your site and each one requires a different integration system, then make sure to name them accordingly so you are aware of where your calls are coming from. And then next up, we need to do something very simple here. So the only things that we need are the name, the email, and we don't need the message. Instead, we're going to add a telephone section. So to do that, you'll type in the label, and the label will be your phone number, and then tel, which will be tel-615, and then label. What this will do, it will add a section to put a phone number into it. And we'll go ahead and select Save. And then we need to add this form onto our landing page. So we'll go ahead and copy this. We'll go to our main landing page, and that would be solar panel installation, edit with optimized press. Of course, you can do this with whatever landing page platform that you use. It's completely irrelevant as long as you are using WordPress. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to add a section just below here that will include our contact form. And then the second part is I'll show you how to integrate the contact form into our schedule appointment button that we had earlier. But let's go ahead and create a new element. There we go. And then here I'll add a headline, find. All right. And the main focus of this tutorial isn't how to build the landing page itself, it's simply how to integrate the Form-2-Call. So we're going to go ahead and delete all of this. And we're going to paste our form. And we're just going to edit the maximum number of pixels. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this. And move it down. All right, so let's go ahead and save. And preview. And now we can see that the form has been integrated. Once again, you can edit the formatting of the form itself, but for the most part, this is the sections that we need. And then we're going to go ahead and submit a ping from our form. So what is a ping? It means that this form is not currently recognized by Call Tracking Metrics until we submit the form, and then Call Tracking Metrics will recognize it in the system. So before we submit the ping, let's go into the Call Tracking Metrics dashboard. And when you first log in, you'll see all of your phone calls, but we're going to go ahead and go to the left side here. We're going to go into the left side here, and we're going to go into flows, and then we're going to go into form reactors. So here are my current forms, but the form that we currently created is not currently in here. So to do that, we're going to go back to our landing page, and we're going to submit some data. and submit. There we go. Now our form will be available within the call tracking metrics platform. So we'll do a quick refresh. And when we scroll to the bottom here, we have our newly created form recognizing our data. So solar panel demo. Let's go ahead and click on it. And now we can start creating the settings within the form itself. Firstly, what I'm going to show you is the backend of solarpanel-cost.com. So what the system looks like is we have the form name. So this is the form name within contact form itself on the WordPress backend dashboard. And then we have the tracking number. So this tracking number you have to purchase for about, I believe, $1 or $2. And then when the system ends up calling the client as well as the business, then on the backend system for the business itself or the affiliate offer, the client's number is going to show up rather than the tracking number itself. And then we have the routing. So we dial the customer first. Once the customer has picked up, then the system ends up calling the offer. So we can see that the offer that is dialing ends up being a solar panel offer on a specific affiliate network. And then the delay that we set is 0 minutes. And then we can continue scrolling down, and then ultimately we receive a text message after the 5-minute delay. And the text message is whatever you want. Just make sure that you don't write too much because there is a limit to how much someone can receive in a text message. And if you write more than is allowed, then the text message will simply be cut off. And then at the very bottom, we can go ahead and create a notification. So let's go back to our form that we just created and set all of this up once more. So here we are, description, once again, optional, but I'm just going to go ahead and copy and paste that. And for the tracking number, go ahead and purchase yourself a tracking number. It doesn't really matter what number it is, as long as you have a tracking number. Then once you've purchased it, go ahead and plug it into here. And then for the routing, we're going to set it to dial the customer first. So for our route action, we're going to go ahead and select dial number. And in the dial number, you can actually select whether you are routing to multiple callers, and whoever picks up the number first. You can obviously do the very complex style of routing on the back end, but for simplicity reasons and for the sake of this tutorial, we're simply going to select our one phone number that we set up on the back end. But for simplicity reasons, we're going to go ahead and create a new receiving number. So to do that, we're going to go into our settings, and we're going to go into numbers, and then under receiving numbers, we're going to create a new receiving number. And this is where you would type in the phone number where you want it to route to. So I'm going to type in the exact same phone number that we had previously, and then I'm going to give it a simple description. So the description is solar panel business who buys calls. So we're routing all of our phone calls that come through the form to this number, save and continue, and that's good to go. So we're going to go back to our form creation, and then here search for receiving numbers. We're going to select our solar panel business who buys calls, and then we're going to dial the number as soon as they enter the phone number in, and select save change. And then here, text messages, we're going to create a new text message that they receive after 5 minutes. And then the text message, I'm simply going to paste from our previous form. So make sure that it's a good call to action. In this case, it's need solar help. If you missed our call, you can call us back at this number between these hours to help deal with your solar panel needs. Once again, thank you for your interest and have a wonderful day. Save the text message settings. Now let's go ahead and do a quick demo test to make sure that all of our settings are correct. So we're going to go back to our landing page, and we're going to go ahead and test out this functionality. So we're back on our lander. Let's go ahead and test the landing page itself. And there we go. So if I answered that phone call, then it would route me to that phone number that's buying the solar panel leads. Let's go back to our settings once more, and then we're going to go ahead and create a notification. And notifications simply send a message to you or whoever's in charge of your backend tracking to be aware that a phone call has gone through or a form submission has gone through. So in this case, we have notification name, and then we'll just name it solar panel call answered. And then here we can select how the notification is triggered. So in this case, we can do after the form submission. So if someone submits their name into the form, then you automatically can set it up to send you an email. Or you can do an after call text form. So let's select that, for example. And then once the phone call has gone through, then it will send you a text message. So we'll select save changes, and then the email receipt. I'm going to email it to myself. And then we go down, and then here you can select the information that you want to be sent within the email subject. So we can do, as it implies, call from the contact name, contact number, and then duration, and then talk time. There we go. Will basically send us a message with this content in the title of the email itself. And then we'll scroll down, we'll select Save Changes, and then we'll do a filter. And then here, if the talk time is greater than 120 seconds, then we'll essentially receive a notification about this call. Go ahead and select Save, and then we can go ahead and test as well. We'll select the recent phone call, and then within the testing itself, you'll be able to select a phone call that occurred recently, and then it will, if your filter applies for this particular phone call. And then we'll go down, and then within the preview, you can actually see the notification that you'll be able to receive when someone goes through your phone call system, and then the delivery logs at the very bottom. So that concludes the part about creating the form. Obviously, call tracking metrics has a bunch of other functionality that you can use. It's a much more advanced platform than simply this Form-2-Call feature. You can use it to analyze your calls as well. So let's say, for example, you want to listen to your calls, you can go into the call section and you can go ahead and listen to the phone calls that have gone through your system. But for the most part, the Forms-to-Call is what we covered. And if you want to do anything more advanced, or if you want to explore more of the platform, go ahead and sign yourself up to Call Tracking Metrics. You can do that through the affiliate link provided to you within this post as well. And you can go ahead and play with the rest of the settings. But for the most part now, let's go ahead and conclude by adding some very simple style sheet settings to our form to make it a little bit prettier. So we're going to go back to our backend dashboard, and we're going to go into plugins, add new, and then we're going to search for Contact Form 7 skins. And then we're going to install this one right here. We're going to activate, close these, and then we're going to go into our contact form. We're going to edit our solar panel demo, and all you have to do is scroll down at the very bottom here. You can see how everything's laid out. So if you want to simplify this whole form creation process, you can go ahead and simply do drag and drops. But all we want to do here is go into style, and then I'm going to go ahead and select the same exact design that I have on the solarpanel-cost.com, which I believe would be this one, and save. We'll go back to our landing page. And there we go. So now we have some basic styling on our sheet. Obviously, you can continue editing. It's on your end, but for the most part, you now understand that you can edit the styling of this as well. And one last thing is I'm going to go ahead and add this exact same form to the schedule appointment. So here we are on the Optimize Press backend dashboard. I'm going to go ahead and copy that. We're going to go into our overlays, schedule appointment pop-up. We're going to edit this, get a call back now, enter your details below to get a call from our agents. And in this part, we can simply delete, and then we'll put in a new paragraph right above here, and copy paste, save, and then let's go ahead and preview. And there we go. So they enter their information, and then once again, they receive a call. So let's go ahead and do our review. So once again, I showed you how to do the Form-to-Call functionality. I explained to you how it works, where the system calls the customer first, and then it calls the business, and then it connects them together. Then we created an account with calltrackingmetrics.com. We installed our Call Tracking Metrics plugin, as well as our Contact Form 7 plugin on WordPress. We set up the form, and we set up the Call Tracking Metrics plugin, and then we sent a ping from our form back to the tracking platform. We set up our phone numbers to the appropriate routing conditions, and then we created our basic auto text message that is sent after 5 minutes. We learned how to set up automated notifications just in case we want emails on the data of our phone calls. Then once again, we tested our Form-to-Call to make sure that it was correct. I showed you how to listen to the phone call itself. And then as a bonus, I showed you how to do the formatting for your Contact Form 7, and then finally a review. Leonidas here. I hope you enjoyed that video. Leave any questions that you might have. Make sure to read the notes in this post, and I will see you in the next video. Salute.